Seth was out there talking to somebody. And I was like,
Test, 1, 2, 3.
it's like. Awesome. And he was sitting alone, and I was like, who is that? I cheated. And I was like, oh, I think it's.
Which camera does she see?
She's clearly not watching either.
Maybe not.
Oh my God, I got.
Oh, but now we're on.
TLC in my head. How come? Because it was playing at Social Cantina. Oh.
I was gonna say, did you watch
What?
the other guys recently? Have you
No.
watched that? It's big thing in that movie.
I know, the red lights. He was killing it today. I'm just kidding. Like I would.
Oh, no.
The sense of smell in like 3 months maybe.
But because of
I kind of miss it.
Do you have COVID? Permanent COVID?
No, I have allergies.
all right. Oh, it's the expiration of our appointment though, right? It's the expiration of our appointment, right?
Yeah.
But I was appointed by the commissioners, but I didn't know how that worked. I had talked to counselors too. Is that on our end to know or? Okay.
Okay, it is 5:30. It is 5:30 and I'm going to call the meeting to order. This is the Monroe County Women's Commission. The commission shall serve in an advisory role to assist residents, businesses, and the government of Monroe County in addressing issues of gender equity in all aspects of society. The mission is to advance the status of women and marginalized genders in all areas of county life. That's our new mission statement. Yay for us. No introductions. May I have a motion to approve the agenda? Oh, and sorry. And Julie Hardesty is on Zoom and the rest of us are here in person. And I think Tiana might be joining us in a little bit on Zoom. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda for today's meeting?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Oh yeah, we do have a quorum in person, by the way. I mean, I know we know that, but that's fine. I should have said that too. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Oh, we do need to make some addendums on the minutes from last time. Right? One is to change Maria to appointed by council. The other one is to add Kathleen Sobiak as present with a term date of 1/1/25. Are there any other addendums
We also need to update the mission.
on the last one? No, that's what it was on the last one.
Okay.
That was correct for that last meeting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then we voted.
Today's-
You're
yeah.
right. Okay. Never mind.
Do I have a motion to approve with those changes?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Plus Julie online. Okay, commissioner updates. It's me. Okay, so Kathleen and I went to the Torchbearers dinner. We did not sit together. They put me at the big table. I sat with the woman of the year, or not the woman of the year, the what do they call it for when you've been around for like done stuff for a long time, like a Lifetime Achievement Award. I sat with her. She was great. Her family was wonderful. And then one of the state commissioners and one of the commissioners from Mission City, Gary, somewhere up there, I can't remember. It was a nice dinner, right? It was fine. Kathleen made best friends with people from Columbus.
The award winners obviously were very impressive. And so we could probably get a list of who those women were. But lots of different backgrounds and how they contributed to state, I guess a lot of, just a variety of backgrounds. So it was interesting to see which they had different types of awards, like early career, lifetime achievement. I forget what the other
Couple were, yeah.
Yeah, but it was a nice event. It was good.
Not super well attended, but it was fun.
Forgive me, who gave out the awards again?
The Indiana Commission for Women.
the Indiana Commission for Women. So there's only 3 commissions in Indiana outside of
Oh,
the state commission.
like local commissions.
Uh-huh.
There are 2 up north, Indy and us. I think we're there 4,
4 now,
maybe
Okay.
4.
So is that who was in attendance or who was in attendance?
The Indiana Commission, some of those commissioners from the state level, and then various I don't know who, commissioners and other politicians and other members of the community. There were like table sponsors that were
Mhm.
there. Yeah,
Do we know who those are?
the,
The table sponsors?
yeah, I have a,
Program.
thank you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I just, did we make any partnership, like possible partnerships or anything like that? See any opportunity, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Probably, I don't know, not necessarily, but not something not to look into, I guess.
So an action item can be that Susan, you'll get the list of the winners and maybe the list of the table sponsors and share it just so we can kind
Yeah.
of know who was there and then see if
Yeah,
we want the reference.
I'd be interested to know if there's anyone from Monroe County that was up there as a sponsor at all. Or attending besides the commission, the Women's Commission from Monroe County.
They were AARP, Indiana, the Airport Authority. They were like big corporate-y type sponsors like that. I
Mhm.
can't remember who the other, but yes. Oh, yeah, because they could be potential if they like, yeah, I see your, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and especially if they have a branch or office here.
That's our development officer working. Yeah, it was okay. I'm glad we went. Well, yeah, we sent you guys the pictures.
Yeah, I'm
Anyway.
glad you went too.
The Indiana Commission for Women, finally, our monthly meeting was actually the day after that event, I think. And it was actually the first time that I got to attend that Jordan was actually there. Who is the executive director or whatever. I'm not sure. I always forget her title up there. And then only one other person was there. I'm just talking about the role of like the local commissions, and it was kind of it was a lot because I mean they just talking about the support and like they, Jordan's really interested and I said, oh, we need to build a template for how other commissions can get started, basically help like me or whatever, like help figure out how to start. I mean, that's kind of what she needs to do is how do we start other commissions? How do we influence that? How does
Help
the
make a
state get
playbook.
that done? And, and to me, it's like identifying women in the community that are whatever, but that's just something she, really wants to do. And then like things that we can contribute is like, things that we were talking about is also setting up like longevity for us. Do we have a succession plan? Do we have job descriptions? Do we have like onboard and training, like putting those things into place? I also wrote no, that was something else, but yeah, that was it. And just basically talked about how how depressing it is to live in Indiana and why there's a war on women. So I don't know, it's kind of interesting. But everyone's just feels like their hands are tied.
As far as succession planning, what did she mean by that? Like just continued recruitment and applications
and like chair and vice chair and things like that. Do we have, things in place to make sure that is written down or information, how we
Yeah,
share?
I guess
And I was like, well, yeah, now at least we have the Dropbox, which we didn't have before, which is huge. Where people can have our historical information at least.
do we have bylaws? I'm sure we do somewhere. So,
Yeah.
because we know the terms are 2 years, but then the terms for the exec chair, vice chair, secretary, when do those roll off or over, transfer? You know what I mean?
Yes, don't we? I think if we do, it's all
We
in the
have to.
Dropbox and I have other stuff, but yes.
Let's look.
Um,
So is that something that we want to do, is consult our bylaws about that and develop a plan, or kind of think about, put on the agenda maybe to look at our job descriptions, our onboarding training. I mean, that's really infrastructure, right? I think we're probably ready to move in that direction now that we've got kind of other infrastructure in place.
well, yeah, and I
Put that
definitely
as
think,
a-
we're coming to a year end of the beginning and how far we've come. And I definitely would like to have, something, whether, even if it's another meeting where, we don't have a speaker, where we can spend some time hashing out, or we have a work session where we all get together and really talk about where we've come and where we like to go, which I would love to do. Because I think about where we were on our first work session to where we are now is kind of unbelievable, to be honest. No, you're not impressed? I would be impressed.
I mean, I think it's believable.
What? Oh, that we've come, well, yeah, I definitely think it's believable, but it's been a journey.
Sure, it's been a journey, but I did not ever doubt us. But yes, I would vote. We're not voting, but I would like to say I would like a work session like we did, to recap the year and strategic plan for next year.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
we can include the review of the bylaws and the creation of a succession plan.
Obviously we got the mission state approved. I did hop on office hours with Julie a couple weeks ago, and we talked about some other things. We talked about updating the mission statement, which I sent and I've showed you guys, and it got updated on the website. We did talk about the seat update, because I was saying, we'd spend time, we really would like to expand. I mean, and Julie's point is, and she's not wrong, is you don't have to be on the board, on the commission, to be an active participant in what we do. So and that's her argument, is like, well, I mean, at least this way you still have quorum every time you meet, but if you want to do things and grow, you can still get other people to come be a part of it. But I also know that a lot of times if you're not on the commission, coming, you know what I mean, having that is hard. But I mean, it's true. You don't have to be on the commission to come be an active participant. So, I mean, that's just something we could talk about too. But I know I was telling her that I was like, no, we've had a couple other people submit applications and whatever. So I just want you to know that that's where that is. And we can talk about that at a work session or whatever.
Do we know, do you get to know as the chair who those folks are that are applying? Or do you just know just because you know who they are?
I know who they are because
Oh,
I
okay.
have to apply, but
Okay.
yeah, I think.
But
if
you know,
I
because
asked, I
of,
think
it
they
was
would tell me.
personal, not because you were informed. Because you referred them, right? Not
Yes.
because you were informed by the commissioners or the county council that they applied. So
Correct.
I think
Yeah,
that's
I
what
don't,
Julie's asking.
yes, I don't
Yeah.
think I would
Yeah.
know who
Yeah.
else applied.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if there's some way that we can know that people are applying and are interested, even if we don't have open seats at this point, it'd be good to know that, to be able to engage with folks who are showing an interest. And so we know with these two people that have applied, just because personally that's been a personal connection, but
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I guess the contacts would probably be Dina or Angie in commissioner's office, or the other person from the county council's office. Their admin would probably know, which, I think that's probably just a quarterly check-in maybe or something.
I think it's about being we understand that the commissioners and the council have a lot of other more important stuff than us on their plate. However, if they want this commission to continue, then we need to be somewhat of a priority when applicants come in, because they're the ones conceivably, they're the ones that are nominating people and interviewing people to be placed on the commission. It's not us, really.
Right.
We can do some recruitment and encourage them to apply, but the funnel is through the process is through the commission and then through the council. So they have to like know that they have applications, know that they have people that they need to interview and that sort of thing. So I don't know what that process looks in the back, on the back end.
I'm sure Angie or Dina.
I think that's a great question. And I think from what I remember last year, maybe a couple years ago now, that sometimes those things got lost in the shuffle. So I think that's true. Like we should have some kind of process among us with them for that line of communication so that I agree with you, to make sure nothing's getting lost. And also from an equity standpoint, if we know we're referring people, that they are getting looked at. And, if we're referring 5 different people and not hearing that what's the issue, right? Like what's happening at their level that we need to, So I'm not sure what that process should look like, but we should have a process for that.
I don't know. I'm trying to remember if they did actually cut. I would have to look now that I think about it, because I think they did when there was an empty seat and they were going to appoint, they were going to interview you. They let me know that was happening, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I was also going to bring up, Julie brought up a good point, just if somebody's interested in finding out more, is there a process for, is there a contact email for them to reach out to, hey, you can talk to one of us about what we do on the commission, like an interest form, fill out this, send us your email, and we'll get back to you. Okay, good point.
I'm guessing.
I'm just thinking also like an equity issue as somebody, it's kind of they just don't know what it's about and want to find out more information. That might be
putting that on the
something to add.
website, putting that on the, in other places that there's some kind of clearinghouse. Yeah, agreed. Okay.
Okay. Can I move on? Okay. Signups are empty. So I did want to bring that to everybody's attention. There's nobody signed up for speakers for November, December, and we don't necessarily have to have anybody, especially for, December or whatever. We don't always have to have one, but it'd be great. I didn't have anybody for the commissioners except for Maria on the 1st. And obviously we decided nothing for the council, and there's nobody signed up for the Bloomington Commission on the Status of Women for those 2 months either that I saw. So just be aware that those signups are still out there. And if you don't have them saved, we can resend them. I can resend them, or Nikki can. But I highly recommend it.
Ask that those be resent, the signups, and because I went to attend the commission. This is like to follow the local government meetings, right?
Right.
I went to follow the commissioners meeting yesterday, and I couldn't get into the Zoom. And then I went to look for the Sign Up Genius to make sure that I was documented, and I couldn't find it. So if we could get that, and then Maria, when we met, what I would, for me as a commissioner, I would love to be assigned something that I have to attend, because for my schedule, it gets so wonky. But if I put something there and I can do that, and that's on me as far as signing up for stuff that I should just put it in. But I would like to attend more, but we had spoken to, I would also like within our commission to know I know we're attending those meetings as far as things on women, but I would like a little bit more of a walkthrough with exactly what we're attending the meetings for, obviously to witness, but also what I would be responsible for bringing back.
That's total, I think that's totally fair and good. I think it would, I mean, it wouldn't not be, I think it would be helpful to have a cheat sheet of things to like what we're looking for, what, you know, like things to, yeah, because if you look, I mean, there's so much that doesn't pertain and sometimes you don't always know, but like, just, I think it's always just going at it with, you know, our lens of, are any of these women's issues or marginalized genders or, you know, I don't know, but yes, I think something like that would be good. I'm not sure what.
And
how to-
fully, I might be the only one that needs that, but I
Oh.
really wanted to make sure that if I'm the one attending, that I'm bringing back to us what we.
Yep,
I think in some ways it's hard because I mean, from my personal experience, when I'm attending one of those meetings, particularly if it's like the Bloomington status on women, or something, if I haven't attended in a while, it's hard to kind of know what they're talking about or even for a council meeting, right? Like it takes a little bit of groundwork, I think, before attending to really feel like you can follow what's happening. Otherwise, I know for me, I've just sat there and I'm like, I have no idea. That sounds interesting, but I have no idea what you're talking about. And so sometimes it does feel a little uncomfortable. Like, should I be sharing something? Should I not? But sometimes something is said and it's really clear where you're like, oh, we might be interested in that. And I think as we've grown in our own identity, those things kind of pop up and you can kind of pick them out. But I understand what you mean. It's a little uncomfortable. Like, what am I supposed to be taking down all the notes? No, just looking for themes or opportunities that we're interested in, right? Or that might be of interest.
Yeah, opportunities to partner, opportunities to make comment, opportunities. But to that point in our strategic planning work session that I'm hearing that we probably really need to have, I think we might want to look at, okay, you're the Bloomington Status on Women team, maybe. You're the commission, you're the council for half a year, for if we want to say a whole year, for the very reason that you said, continuity and knowing what's going on.
Maybe for 6 months at a time, maybe
Mhm.
even assign it like for 2 people so that, right? Like I can't go, Molly will be
Yes.
there. Like it's fine. You know what I mean?
Or-
I think
yeah,
that's
Yeah,
a
the one
great.
that I was attending, that
Yes.
Julie took notes on, thank goodness. Julie.
Yeah, no, I've
Yeah.
had that same experience where I
Yeah.
just wasn't sure what I need to report out. So I like that idea, Maria. To maybe kind of divvy it up a little bit.
Yep, that makes sense.
I also wanted to add for the upcoming signups, we had talked briefly about maybe asking John Kiesler or Deb Getz to come and talk about trauma-informed care and possibly thinking about connecting with businesses in town about doing trainings. So I don't know. I also think a work session is probably like November, December are probably good months to do those because everybody's so busy and we are not inviting a speaker, but maybe looking towards the beginning of the year. If we're still interested in that.
This is Julie. I just wanted to point out on chat that Landry from the Bloomington Commission on the Status of Women has been chatting and actually suggesting that sharing minutes between the two groups potentially. So something like that might be something we can work out with that particular group, the Bloomington Commission on the Status of Women.
That's a great idea. Thank you for that.
Yep, that'd be great. Thanks for being here, Landry.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, of course. Happy to be. So I have to actually hop, but yeah, I would love to share minutes and then somebody could vet them and then share them in their next meeting. So just we're always at least informed, even if we don't have the full, fleshed out details of everything. It'd be super, I think super helpful to be informed. But thanks so much for having me on. Look forward to working with you all even more.
Speaker signups too, and Maria, if you'll remind me of her name that I met at the period action at the library from Tandem. She has spoken to the Women's Commission, I think, before any of us were here, and she would be interested in speaking with us again. So I can reach out to her and see. And even though people are busy in November, December, I think
She's always up for it, Julie.
Yeah.
Julie Duhan.
Mhm.
And
Can you say that again? Sorry, who's that?
Julie DeHaan is who it was, correct, Maria? With Tandem.
And I failed for this month, just so we know. Get that in the minutes.
I thought it meant you were going to be speaking today and presenting to us.
I speak too much. Are you, Susan?
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Done. I want to, revisiting expectations, we can talk about that. At a work session. And in the sense, I guess it's just a lot of, especially as this year comes to a close and seeing where we've come. And I think, I'm all about managing expectations because I think it's really important about making sure that we're, that people are just in general are willing to, match with what they want done with what they're really willing to do, and I think, that's something going forward that I would like, us to talk about is, maybe clearly laying out, you're on a, subcommittee, you will, attend 4 events a year or whatever it is, but something that helps, helps us all like understand what the commitment is here. And so I think that's important for us to all, or to not feel bad if we can't, or to feel, just to make sure we all have, the bar and we're all hitting the bar, I think we're ready for that step as we've, come out of this year about now we have a better understanding of what it's like, and that's just something I really think is important for us to talk about.
I think that would tie in well to onboarding processes, having that kind of resources for us, but also kind of mapping out expectations and goals, objectives, things like that.
I agree. Okay, so I'm done.
So is it against the law if I don't give you that I'm on the agenda, but I don't give you what I'm going to talk about? Because sometimes I don't know. Is that against the law?
This is a good thing to add to the onboarding resources, all these rules that,
Okay.
I was
yeah.
gonna say, or does it just need to say TBD
I don't know.
or like
I-
just not blank?
And to be honest, I'm not real concerned, but just to do things right. But I like in my section to say, so these are the things that we need to be aware of or aware. October is ADHD Awareness Month. Is Breast Cancer Reconstruction and Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Domestic Violence Awareness. LGBTQ plus History Month. And Cybersecurity Month Awareness Month. What I would like to report on today is Molly and I and Julie attended the Period Action Day rally that Girls Inc. Hosted at the library on this past weekend. And I think that is something that it's something that Girls Inc. is going to do on the regular basis, but I think we could help amplify and make it just give it support and things, because it was kind of I think it deserved more than deserved more attention than what it got. I also want to let you guys know that I am attending the Girls Inc. Ruby Gala on November 11th, and the tickets are still available, and this will be the second year for that.
What was the date, please?
Girls Inc. Ruby Gala.
What was the date?
November 11th at Ivy Tech, Shreve Hall. And then the Indiana Now National Organization of Women State Conference is also that same day that you can register for. And I have an idea for a new project, but I guess we should talk about it in the work session. But roughly, I see the need in this community to organize the organizations. So similar to how Heading Home organizes organizations that serve the unhoused, I think it might behoove us to give a go at organizing organizations that serve women. And what that might look like could be, we don't want to double do services, but it could be a referral, a referral process, a resource share, things like
Gonna
that.
say an updated resource guide or something.
Yeah.
Geared particularly to women and people in marginalized genders.
So they do, and I stumbled on it today and I need to go back and look. But they do have the GIS map for services. Did you know that exists?
Yes.
And I know I'd been brought up at another meeting, or I talked about something like that in the past, because I was like, how do we know all the resources in this community? Because it's, we have a lot, and what's overlapping, what's missing, kind of thing. But yeah, I would be interested to see, especially with what the GIS stuff says about what's available.
And I'm envisioning, because I love to gather, I'm envisioning perhaps even not a summit, because I don't know what that actually means, but like I just like the word, but like people, invite all the organizations that
Oh, I love that.
Me too.
serve women and come around the same table or smaller breakout tables and just organize. Just get organized in some fashion.
I love that idea.
I do too. That would be a great thing for us to think about for
Could we not integrate that into the
2024
work session? Like we just made sure to heavily invite.
Oh, to the work session? No, because that work session is for
us.
Our commission
The public.
strategic plan. So that would be a part of the strategic plan perhaps, but it wouldn't be time to organize everybody, because we're trying to organize ourselves at that point. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I feel that I've heard this for the 10 years I've been in town for the same thing as far as the nonprofits. Everybody needs to organize. Everybody needs to organize.
well,
And there's
'cause
always
that's the truth.
meetings, and there's always, so I'm because I feel like I've attended those meetings, and then but the one thing that I've seen happen is Mary Morgan was Heading Home.
Right.
They've gained some traction. So
Yeah.
I'm curious how, and I mean, she's kind of told us, but how do we gain traction for making sure, I mean, I've been within the nonprofits in and out of town. I feel the exact same way. And I feel like some need to be brought together, and it can be confusing for the people that are trying to utilize services because we're not organized amongst the places that do. I don't know if it's a summit. I don't know if it's because there's so many. There's so many. Is it like, but how do we go about?
Well, I
Are you
think-
envisioning 50 people in a room? Are you envisioning 10 leaders in a room? Are you like, I guess is my question.
I think whoever wants to be involved, whoever's willing to do some work, whoever's willing or has the spirit of partnership. And I think it would help also funding streams, to be honest, because then it could be clear, you know, again, from a development standpoint, then the donors can be clear on who and or how they can give that is in line with their values. And but more for the organization of service. But I think that's something that we can talk about in the work session and that we can talk about with other organizations. You know, we can talk with Mary to see if she has ideas, or I mean, I kind of have seen the progression of heading home. But we have to try.
Oh, yeah.
We have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
try, even if it's been talked about for 10 years. I feel like, you know, we have to try something.
And
Oh, yeah.
honestly, it would be a great partnership with the city.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. Kind of
Sure.
get our two commissions together and think about how we can put something together like that.
I'm almost picturing like a sequential intercept model of like the life cycle of a woman, and like at each point, like where is the support coming from? What
I love that.
organizations are there to support? And then going through like some way to organize it.
Interesting.
I'm not sure if it's based on the life cycle or what, but that's, yeah, just something that kind of gives us a roadmap to talk about, okay, at this point in a woman's life, who is there to support? If she's homeless, if she's pregnant, if has substance use disorder, if she has mental health issues. Let's talk about that. Now, when she's older, who's there to support?
I love that.
So that's just one idea. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking about how to organize, because that is like a big task. So kind of finding a way to make it into smaller pieces.
I love that. Thank you. You love good intercept model, don't you?
I love models
I like it
to
too.
guide our work. Yes. It's a great idea. I like it.
That's a great.
And also I'm thinking about some one of those intercepts, or maybe there's two different tracks or whatnot, because we're talking about city and then we're talking about county, right? You know, city resources versus county resources. How accessible are city resources to people in the county? And we know that that's lacking. But anyway, I like that. That is a way to organize it through the life cycle. Huh.
Well, and I think also if we kind of step out from it a little bit further too, I think given the climate that we have in our community, any kind of collaboration and partnering between a county entity and a city entity is great. Not only collaboration, but it's great role modeling, which I'm all about. Like we can all work together
Absolutely.
because we all have really similar passions. So I love the idea of partnering with kind of bringing the county and the city together in whatever ways we can. So great idea.
Okay, that's all I had for my section, but then I did attend the commission and I attended the commission meeting. Well, hold on. Susan, it's your meeting. Go ahead.
So now on to old and ongoing business. You attended the commission? There were a couple of Wednesdays that I was and I totally.
So the one that I was able to attend was one of the budget hearing ones on October 3rd. And just the two things that I took away from the budget hearings is that clearly, and I attended meet the funder situation through the Nonprofit Alliance today, sustainability is key. So if you're going for a grant, if you're going for a budget line item, you can ask for it, but then how is it going to be sustainable, right? You know, you don't want to have to keep asking for it, or you don't want to, you know, have to ask for more money, or, you know, it needs to be sustainable. So that's what they were really looking at. And then that was the meeting that they voted on the 8.5% increase in the salaries for certain county what's the word I'm looking for? Employees, yeah. I was thinking roles, but yes, employees. And then I liked how they had a, you know, they were had a pretty good discussion on the need to value people. And, you know, that's all most employers have experienced problems with staffing and being competitive with salaries and things like that. So, you know, the county and government is no different. So they were looking at that. Did anybody else attend any council or commission meetings? I'm sorry.
No.
Oh, that was council. Sorry, I just reported on council.
All right,
think.
give Nikki a second.
No, I've missed all the commission. I don't know why, but
And then the commission meeting that I attended was the 4th of October. And the Sophia Travis grants passed. This was interesting to me, the MOU with building a thriving, compassionate community with the INCDB for prevention passed for domestic violence. And then I wanted to let everybody know about the 2023 Monroe County Childhood Conditions Summit. Monroe County Childhood Conditions Summit is Wednesday, November 1st. It's on mattering and belonging. It's at the Monroe County Convention Center from 8:30 to 4. Free of cost. Breakfast and lunch are provided. Continuing education hours available. I'm attending that. When our child hour meeting, Middleway House's childcare director is speaking at the closing session about trauma-informed childcare. I've never been. I think they have it every year. Have you heard of it? I've never been. But it's with BTCC, Building Thriving Compassionate Community Group, and the Youth Bureau, I believe, are partnering on it. But I'm excited. I love a good gathering.
Are we to council?
Council.
Are we past
Mhm.
council?
Status on women.
BCSW, I did not attend this past one. There was something else that I was doing that night. I can't remember, but no one else was signed up, so I'm not sure what happened that time. Do I have a report out on girls' web design?
Is Tiana on?
No.
Okay, well, the last that I saw is that the MOU between the city. No, we're the county. Between the county and the Luddy School, the IU Luddy School, is done and signed.
Oh, good.
So that's a big hurdle done.
When did that happen? Didn't it have to be presented at a commissioners meeting? Did
And
that
then
happen?
we have to go. Oh, so maybe it's just drawn up. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
it's
not.
just as far as I know, it's just drafted. What we got at
Okay,
the end of
so it's just
September was a,
drafted, and we
yes,
still have to do all
we still have to
the,
present that and get it signed. Yeah, commissioners meeting presentation has to happen. In that, yeah. And I'm not sure on the IU side what the process is. We were unclear, I think, if the Board of Trustees has to, if this has to come up there, or if there's some other way that that is addressed on the IU side.
I'm not worried about the IU side because Tiana will take care of that. We were just waiting for the thing to be drafted, so we had something to present, sign and such. Yeah, Julie, we need to get a subcommittee meeting together. Or do we have one?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
Tiana's
We can get
been
a
the one
sub-
that's been scheduling those. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get a subcommittee meeting together and it is my opinion that if we can't solidify this before the end of the year and have a plan for the girls coding or the girls website camp to happen in the spring, we can't nail down the MOU, if we can't nail down the dates and such, I'm thinking that it may not happen.
Yeah.
The end of the year, if it's not, like that stuff's not done by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. We have to. I shouldn't happen. I mean, I don't want to do anything last minute and scramble and, whatever. But I would also, put it on the work session about, revisiting whether this really is aligned with who we are. Or who we want to be, or I don't know, whatever. I mean, either way.
Julie, did you have a comment? I feel like you were gonna.
No, there was just that
Okay.
the MOU wasn't finished. We've got a draft of it, but I don't know what the next step is. If we just need to take that and ask for the commissioners to add it to an agenda up at an upcoming meeting and present it, or I think Molly Turner King was asking if there were any edits, and I don't have any edits, but I don't know like how that, it's the email was saying something about if we need to discuss it as a commission, as the Women's Commission, we need to do that at a public meeting. If there are any details about the contract to discuss. Otherwise, but I think if there aren't any issues with the contract amongst the subgroup, then maybe we don't need to have that happen. I'm not sure. I'm not clear on that.
I mean, I'm just going to say, I don't feel like the energy is behind it, right? I don't feel like our energy is behind it, behind doing that. Because if it was, it would have been done, I feel like.
Do you mean behind presenting, or do you mean behind the camp itself?
Behind the camp itself.
Okay.
Well, I thought there was, some of it was just, I feel like some of it is learning. We all had a lot to learn this year with it. And I felt like one of the biggest hiccups was there was just a misunderstanding, which again, may be due to energy or interest with, getting the MOU done, right? Because that was supposed to be done months ago and there was some kind of communication issue with it, right?
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next steps though, we will try to get a subcommittee meeting together. And then we will report back before, and I commit to doing that before next meeting.
Yeah. If Tiana's available, that's,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at this point time is of the essence, right? We're way behind, and I echo what you're saying, Maria, that the energy isn't there. I know for me, I kind of am relying on the subcommittee to kind of let me know what's happening.
As you
And
should.
yeah, so I'm interested for sure, but I don't really know what to be doing. And I know nobody really knows what to be doing until kind of the legality things happen. So it is concerning, and it's hard knowing that it's just, for whatever reasons, it just keeps kind of prolonging, and we're waiting. And it's like, okay, well, we're way behind. So that's,
Yeah, I feel like by next meeting, if things are solidified, we're
we
dropping.
need to.
Okay.
Because I mean, this needs to be announced before winter breaks, and if it's
Yeah.
going to be in February, which me, that's probably what I would think is when it would start, would be February to spring break or whatever, and then and that needs to be announced in December before everyone's gone, I think. But
Yeah. Agreed.
okay.
Okay.
Gender Equity and Justice Response Subcommittee. It's so weird because it feels like everything was so up for a while, and then it's just like the bottom drops out because their JFAC kind of whatever. So I don't know. Julie, what do you got? What do you want to say? Chairperson, subcommittee chair.
Yeah, we have subcommittee, the subgroup is still meeting. Our next meeting is going to be on November 9th at 5:30 PM. It's a Thursday at MCPL Southwest. So that's where we met in October and just kind of discussed what we'd done, what had happened, and where things left off with the Justice Fiscal Advisory Committee. And they have their recommendations available, and that group, I think, is finished. And one of the recommendations that they have is to have something that they were calling the functional program team form up basically for the next phase of figuring out the jail facilities. So we're kind of trying to watch for that to see if that is going to form up and get started, because that would be a way to stay connected in what's happening with any new jail facility that's being constructed, and any sort of advocacy we can do for women and marginalized genders that are going to be housed there. So, but in the meantime, we also are thinking about the current jail and the needs that are, and there are plenty of needs there now for women and marginalized genders, and there are plenty of changes that need to be made. And so that was the discussion that we had in October, was trying to pay attention to what's happening with the budget for this next year. And if there were things that, for example, I think the sheriff was requesting, and we were thinking that things were heading in a good direction for that, to be, for that request to be fulfilled. But I don't think we've seen the final, is the budget finalized? The budget actually was just finalized, wasn't it? So we could take a look through that.
The budget hasn't been finalized yet. I wasn't aware of that. So I sent Sheriff Marte a text, and he said that his budget's up, he thinks, next week.
Next week?
Been totally
I saw something from somewhere that was the county council, the 2024, maybe it was the city budget, not the county budget.
Yes, it was the city budget.
City budget,
So
okay.
just
Sorry.
today I said, did your budget pass? And he said, I believe we're scheduled for next week. I said, okay. Cool. So that will be very informative.
So that's
from our next.
That's happening. That's a meeting that's happening next week.
He said, I believe we're scheduled for next week. So.
So anyway, trying to watch what's happening with this next year's budget to see what sort of support is going to be available from the county for the current jail, and potentially going from there to depending on if there's still gaps that we are seeing based on our recommendations and the our recommendations that we put forward. And then we were also looking at doing some of our own research, particularly on the pony the 3-day training that happened over the summer, planning of new institutions. There's some information available online about what that process looks like, and just trying to learn more about what that training is that the county did go through, and how that's influencing things for any new facilities. And we're also looking at the community conversation sessions. I think only one was recorded. I don't know if there were 2 of them that happened, but I think there's only the recording from the September 20th one at Summit Elementary. So checking that out. And we're also looking at a program, the Trauma Informed Employment program that's offered from the School of Public Health. And we know that Goodwill has been using Goodwill Incorporated out of Indianapolis has done that training, and is using that to employ formerly incarcerated folks in the community. So there's basically kind of some research things that we're looking at right now as well. So I think the remaining meetings that we have this calendar year, we can kind of keep an eye on what's happening with the budget, look at research that we're thinking we can kind of poke around in and learn more about, and then see if there are things that we can still be advocating for with the current jail, to help women and marginalized genders. So I think that's kind of where things stand. I'm not sure if we see that functional program team form up and start working. I'm not sure what that means, but we can kind of see where that goes next.
And for me, or I mean, we've talked about this, that if the sheriff's budget passes without any changes or any modifications or reduction in, they don't fund everything. So what they fund will be telling about, what the conditions in the jail may or may not be currently, I feel like.
Mhm.
Do we have, does somebody want to take the lead on reporting out about that budget when it is finalized so that we can all kind of be updated on what it entailed regarding this specific issue? Just because I just.
So I'm curious, it's not done because they were supposed to have, the meeting was supposed to be 2 days ago, that they were supposed to adopt the budget. That did not happen. I mean, that's what I'm hearing, is that it wasn't adopted.
Yeah, no, he said they're
It's next week.
How
Yeah.
is that possible? It's supposed to be done already.
Well,
It's interesting. Okay.
County's supposed to be done.
Yeah, the adoption was supposed to be Tuesday. They've already had the hearing. I mean, there's like a very specific process, so I'm curious.
Maybe it
Curious.
got bumped or something, we said. I just wanted to add to your report, Julie, that we were talking about doing a press release to make public that we did the research and had recommendations, kind of doing our own promotion to get our findings and recommendations out to the public. So thank you for making that the document that kind of can guide what that looks, the template. Yes. So maybe we can talk about that at our next meeting. Is that something, once we craft a press release, that would need to be approved by this group? So perhaps by the next
No,
meeting? Because wouldn't it be on behalf of the Women's Commission?
can we just say no? Because that'll be late November.
Can I
vote to approve that I give the subcommittee complete permission to have a press release on our behalf?
I'm not sure how that works.
I mean, I think it's us for us to decide. Do we allow the subcommittee to do a press release on our behalf?
I mean, Are you asking me to vote? Because
I know, 'cause we have to call a vote.
yes, I
Do
mean,
I have
I
I'm
feel-
gonna call the vote.
okay,
I'm a motion of vote.
sure.
Well, is this going to be a policy that would
Going
translate into all subcommittee work they can create? I think that's
I
kind of
think
going
no.
down
I
the
don't know,
road
but
that
I think
I
you just
think
have to be
no.
specific that you.
I don't think necessarily.
Yeah, I think no, we don't want a policy that's a blanket like that. But I think in
This is
this
specific.
case, specific to the gender
Yes.
equity subcommittee, knowing the work that, I mean,
Especially
speak for
because we
everybody.
all know
We've
the
already seen all the facts and everything.
we already
that-
know the
that-
recommendations.
yeah.
I think for the specific situation.
Yes,
It's totally
I make a
fine to do.
motion.
I understand what you're saying. You don't want to open the.
No,
book
I
to
don't
any
think we should have a
subcommittee.
blanket.
Do a press
Yeah.
release on any issue, but we've seen all this research that Julie did, all the meetings everybody in Maria have attended. I
Okay.
think it would be
Yes, I make a motion
fine. Yeah.
to vote on allowing the Gender Equity and Justice Response Subcommittee to create and release a press release based on the recommendations we have already seen and submitted to the Justice Financial Advisory Committee. Do I have a second?
I second.
Do all in favor say aye?
Hi.
Aye.
Hi.
I'm looking at Julie.
I'm sorry, I am actually a little, the county budget is done. It is approved. I just shared a link. It was reported yesterday that the county budget for 2024 is approved.
It's not on their website. I didn't see it, but it was approved.
Yeah, it's finished.
It should be.
Well, hold on, because we got a vote happening. So hold on, we got to finish that before we
Her
can
vote
do
doesn't
anything.
really matter anyway, because she's not in person.
Okay, but she still might have a voice. So
Yes, she does have a voice.
What, Julie, what's your vote on?
I'm not gonna vote to approve that because I think it would make sense for the subcommittee to draft it, but not to just move forward and release it without the entire commission being cool with it. So it makes more sense for us to draft releases as a subcommittee, but then it seems like it should be approved by the whole commission before it goes out.
Okay, but the vote's happening. So are you abstaining or are you voting no or are you voting yes? Because the vote's
Oh.
already on the floor. So we have to
Okay.
do that before we
Well,
can do
and
it.
then I would vote no. Yeah.
Okay.
The motion passes.
I'm like, that part I know. Okay, now tell us what you found out about the budget, please, Julie, because
All I found out is that the Indiana Public Media is reporting that the county council adopted the 2024 budget and they published that on October 18th. So they published that story yesterday. So I think that means that the 2024 budget is finalized. So we should be able to look at something to see if the sheriff's requests have been included or not.
Maybe there's an appropriations portion that he's referring to or something like another. Like the full budget was approved, but now they gotta hash out like. Who gets what line items?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
I have no
Maybe,
idea.
yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Can you see details on the budget? I mean, is it like a line?
This is
Line
all
by
I'm looking
line.
at is a news article. I don't have the budget
Oh,
itself.
okay.
So yeah, I'm
And
not
it's
sure.
not on the website. I mean, it's not on their, where they say they would post the budget.
Does adopted
Approved budget is
mean-
not on our website.
Does adopted mean approved?
I don't know.
I think
So
adopted.
that's what I'm saying. Maybe there's part of the process that
Mhm.
we don't.
Because maybe they adopted it from the hearings that they had. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it does say, I mean, the article is saying that the council adopted recommendations from the Justice Fiscal Advisory Committee as part, so there's things, I don't know how much details are available though. Yeah.
So I need to,
Yeah. There's no details about if the sheriff's requests were approved.
Okay, so anyway,
Mhm.
bottom line is though, is that we need to know whether it was done yesterday or whether it's done next week. We need to know what the sheriff's budget looks like.
Mhm. And does somebody want to give us a synopsis of that when we ascertain that information is what I was wondering. Or do we want to all just go out and look for it, which is fine too. I just want to make
No,
sure
I
that.
can look for it. I can do it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm gonna text Jennifer Crossley and see what wisdom, how she can inform us.
So are we good with this for now?
Mhm.
Okay. I did want to go back and note, I should read this as I'm going along all the time. Tiana did state in the last meeting that the MOU was sent to the IU trustees. They will not vote on it until November. Then it has to go to legal and IU for approval. There's
Okay.
Tiana now,
Here, yeah.
Tiana,
like
yeah,
Beetlejuice.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We just got lost in some details about the
So-
web sign and the MOU, but I just remembered to look at the notes from last time.
So the MOU was actually sent to Luddy, to IU already. So we're reviewing it and we're gonna get it sent back to Molly as soon as possible so that we can get it on the agenda for the trustees meeting in November. So it's being reviewed now.
Oh, so it has, okay, so it's still out, it has to go back to Molly, and then it goes to the trustees.
Yeah, it's for the November meeting for the trustees to get approved.
So do
Yeah.
you think, I mean, I know you're not a fortune teller or mind reader. Do you think though, do you have an idea what your gut telling you that will we know more at our next meeting in a month from now, whether it was approved or not? Do you think?
I mean, I think so, but I mean, I'm gonna be hopeful that we will, but I can't tell you how these trustees work.
Okay.
But I think it will get approved. I don't see why it wouldn't.
So that sounds like it's moved beyond what the last thing that we were understanding was that Molly had sent it to the subcommittee, the group of us for review for edits, but it's already gone beyond that.
Did y'all make any edits? Y'all never responded. I didn't see any
No.
edits. So,
Yeah.
so what I did to make it move faster, see, since I can't be Luddy, in the Monroe County Women's Commission. So what I did is I sent it to Paul, who's representing Luddy. So
Okay.
he can look at it so we can move it faster along. So then I'm
Sure.
gonna send it back to her because I think she captured everything we said. I didn't see you all make any edits.
No,
Okay.
no, I didn't have any. Yeah.
I thought we was all on the same page. So, okay, good. Well, I made that assumption. I'm
Mhm.
glad you said something, but I figured if you didn't say anything,
Yeah.
it was good. And so he's looking at it and I gave him to Friday. And if I don't hear from him, I'm just sending it back to Molly saying it's okay. We don't have time
Okay.
to work
Okay.
at slow speeds.
Yeah. So, because do we need to wait for the Board of Trustees to go through this before we are taking this to the commissioners then? The county commissioners?
Molly and Angie.
Oh,
were
and Molly's doing that. Okay.
Remember, and she said if we could be present, we can
Okay.
go, but I think they're gonna represent us. If we want to
Okay.
go, we can go to that.
Okay. All right. I forgot those details. Okay.
I mean, is that what you got to? That's what I understood, that she would help us do it, her and Angie.
If they can do that, yeah, I think that, yeah. So,
So Tiana, so in the notes, it said target date is spring 2024. And in my mind, that was, I mean, spring semester is, in my mind, January, right? I mean, that's the spring, because that's what we think about it in IU, or I guess whatever. But are you thinking before or after spring break is when this is going to happen? So is it going to be February to spring break or after spring break to end of April? Do you have a thought?
I think the subcommittee needs to come back together and we're gonna look at the dates, because we said we're gonna look at the calendar to see where it falls. So we're not going against any spring break with RBB or MCCSC. So after we get all this approval through whatever the other two entities that need to approve it, then we're going to come back together and come up with the dates. We need the approval first because we can't market anything until we get the approval.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so yeah, because we were talking about dates and trying to just make sure we don't lose anybody, just making it as inclusive as possible.
Yeah, Maria and I were earlier in the meeting before you were able to be here, Tiana. We were like, we need to get the subcommittee back together again. So that was, we were going to try see if we can get something scheduled. So
yeah, sorry. I teach on Thursdays and my class, they had questions today, so it ran me late. I was trying to connect from my phone, driving with my husband. But I made it. So sorry for my delay.
No, thanks for coming. I did also want to back up for a second. Sorry to the Bloomington Council on the status of women, and it doesn't look like Landry's here anymore. I think they're having their summit on the 9th, which I haven't heard anything about them sending us stuff for volunteering. But I can reach out to Marissa to follow up with that. That's the My Choice, my voice, my choice, my rejoice. Yeah. So I just wanted to bring that up. Okay. That's old and ongoing business that I have. Right? Are we good with everything else as far as action items and moving forward? Yes, okay. New business, I just have in there that, shoot, I had another thing. That I just want to know elections are in December. I have put on there the 4 of us that are up for renewal on January 1st. I don't foresee, I know how easy it is for the county, the commissioners to get reappointed, but I don't remember what it's like for the county council. I would recommend somebody from that appointee group from the council to follow up with the county council to see how that process goes. Because I know for the commissioners, they just send us a letter or ask us if we want to be involved, and they're like, there you go forth and here's another 2 years. But I highly recommend that, before the end of the year to connect with council, and I can if no one else has time or wants to, but whatever.
Is the question, how does the county council manage their reappointments?
Thank you.
And
Yes.
so then we need to probably assign it to a specific person to ask that question.
Yes.
Okay.
And that I would appreciate if anybody is not planning on coming back, which is completely fine. To please, I would love a text or an email just to have a little bit of a heads up. But it's not necessarily completely 100%.
Do we have any volunteers for reaching out? To the county
I'll
council?
find out. Tiana,
Tiana, I'll do it.
Yeah,
Thank you,
I'll do
Tiana.
it.
Thanks, Tiana.
Did anybody go to Misty yet? Did anyone go to New Leaf, New Life?
We were delayed last week, and then I think we have to schedule for this week. Although I have it on my calendar for tomorrow. So if somebody else would like to accompany me, or just Julie and I are going to reschedule for probably the week after next.
Okay.
What was the time on that? Do you know?
We don't have an appointment. She just said when she was here, oh, come visit us anytime during our open hours. So on Fridays, they're open till 4. They're open 11 to 4.
If you get it, I mean, if whatever, text me. I work remote tomorrow, so I could probably pop into town.
If I get what? If I'm going to go?
If you go.
Okay.
You're like, oh, no, I can do this today, and you want someone else to go with you, just text me and I can probably come in.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just thinking, I just want to make sure I got everything that I was thinking about.
And you're,
I did want
you're-
to say. Go
you're
ahead.
going to thank her, to thank Missy.
Yes, and then we also kind of mentioned to her, oh, you should join the Women's Commission, but I wanted to follow up with her with kind of, although now I'm not clear if we have seats open, but I want to
Exactly.
give her.
Yeah, don't offer it if
We don't have seats open.
Right.
We do not. At this moment, we do not. However, one of the reasons we wanted people to apply, they keep the application on file for a year. So that she could, anybody that's interested could still put in an application. We also agreed on earlier this year that if we got people to apply and saw that there was a large interest, that we would be able to increase and make an easier argument for us to increase our seats.
I feel like with her, I wouldn't want to sincerely invite her and then have her
Agreed.
sitting in a pile waiting. Like I would want to wait for better timing. When it would, yeah.
Maybe that, when you visit, maybe that discussion can be kind of go back to that people are welcome to be involved in the commission without holding a commissioner seat. At this time, we don't have vacancies, but would, really value her voice and would love to, include her in any way that she might be interested if she is ever interested, right? Maybe framing it that way would be
Yeah.
letting her know that we are really interested, but right.
Well, certainly she could zoom in and
Any
see what it's
capacity.
like for,
Yep.
'cause she seemed like she wasn't sure what
Mhm.
she could bring, but yeah, that way she, definitely makes sure that
we
that
value her
message is
voice.
clear. Yeah. Two little side things that Maria knows about and Julie now is that I finally sent out thank yous. They were sitting in my house forever and it just got procrastinated. But Mary Morgan, I know she texted you and thanked you. And she came up to me specifically at the event, Wrapped in Love event for Middleway to thank you for the thank you and say how much it meant, because no one ever sends mail and the effort. And she really, really appreciated it. So I was like, yes, that was the right decision, because I feel like that's really important. And two, I don't know if anybody's ever looked, because I looked the other day when Nikki and I were trying to get our minutes and agendas updated on the website, that there is a count for how many times our agendas and minutes have been viewed. And I was very
I didn't
surprised.
see that.
Yeah,
Like the
there is a
August
count.
minutes have been viewed. That was a shoot. 53 times. June was 58. March was 86. The ones from February was 129. I don't know what this means. I don't know if
Y'all,
it's really
it's not
times.
me looking at my own
I was gonna
minutes.
say,
I'm
or-
just, is it Nikki?
No.
Like
53
no, I'm not.
times.
Yeah,
I don't know.
no.
But I don't know what that really means, but
I don't
just
either,
thought
but it was
an
interesting.
little factoid.
And I think that's worth saying out loud too, that there was some mix up or something with the agendas and the minutes getting posted to our Dropbox and to the website. Well, not to the Dropbox, but to the website. And so that has been remedied, although I didn't double check. Did you double
No,
check?
they're not all on here.
They're not all there.
July's not on here.
No, July's on there.
They should have.
August not.
They've been sent.
No,
Many
that's
a
when it was
time.
posted.
Yeah, you have to look at, yeah. Anyway, Susan and I are trying to remedy that with Dina. There's some kind of tech issue that they're trying to sort out. So to anyone who sees and listens, our minutes will be there as well as agenda.
So
They're waiting with bated breath.
What? Yeah, they are
They
sent
cannot
every
wait.
month.
obviously not. Look at this, 53 people. 53.
So Jennifer just responded, Julie, the budget was passed on Tuesday. The sheriff's budget was passed, but he's still going through the process. Not sure what that means for his transitional team with PAC, with PAC. So I asked, his whole budget passed. minus the transitional team without modification, and she hasn't said, so we'll just continue to
Okay. Yeah.
try to
Thank-
assess.
Thank you very much. That helps. That clears it up. It's like both. It is both
Gosh.
approved, but also not done.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
confusing.
We don't have a public speaker, obviously, so we don't have a speaker, so we don't have to worry about that. I'm gonna say we don't probably want one for December. Are we gonna try to do one for November?
That pushes up against Thanksgiving, doesn't it?
Thanksgiving.
Yes, it's the week before
I
Thanksgiving.
would say no.
Okay. I thought there was the suggestion, was it Molly from
Oh, it's
Tandem?
From Tandem, yeah, if
Yeah.
Julie from Tandem would be interested, would we want her to?
Yeah, if she wants to come, if she wants to come.
Okay, I'll reach out to her.
Yeah, and just let me know. That'd be great.
So nobody saw my hand raised.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I'm just gonna interrupt for a second. I got a message back because Jennifer's responding very quickly because I also messaged her to find out about this whole reappointment stuff. She said in order to be reappointed, you need to reapply and get in contact with the council's office.
You need to reapply?
That's what she said. She thinks so. You have to reapply and talk to Kim Shell. I think I'm just gonna contact Kim Shell and ask her what the process is.
Interesting.
But she said she believes, she's not sure. She just said she believes so. You'll need to reapply. So I'll find out, but that was her response.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
for inquiring, Tiana.
Everything is so clear as mud.
I thought we had applied to.
I'm sorry, what?
I thought
No, you.
I thought we had to apply too. So that's news to me when you said we didn't. Also just kind of an FYI for new business. As my seat is coming up and I'm planning on staying on the commission, I do need to vacate my position as secretary. My plate is just too full. And so I just want to say that out loud to everyone that this position as secretary will be open.
Don't
Yeah.
all volunteer at once.
So thanks so much.
I
And I'll
nominate Julie.
continue, I'll
I nominate
continue
Julie.
through I'll continue through the end of the year, but yeah, I'm going to remain on the commission if you'll have me, but I need to vacate the secretary part.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. I mean, I think that's something that we all need to do and we all need to model, if you will, for other women, that we need to know what our capacity is and we need to honor our capacity and make whatever adjustments need to happen.
Yes, I agree.
Period.
Thank you for your service. And just to follow up, because I don't remember what we said. So we are going to try to do a work session next year, like early in the year or this year.
How about December?
Yeah. Yes.
Leave December open for the work session, so we can start fresh in the new year
Okay.
with a plan.
We don't have to have a meeting, I don't think, in December. We could make it a work session instead. So that way we don't have to worry about times does everyone look to,
It just has to be announced and open to the
Yes.
public, right?
but we could say we're canceling the meeting and we're having a work session instead. Everybody knows what day it is, take a
It's
look
on
at
our
their
calendars.
calendars and make sure they're going to be in town. Because I'm sure it's the week before Christmas.
Oh.
That's perfect. If we could I like that idea. Okay.
We could bring snacks.
We could bring snacks.
It could be our holiday party too.
I love snacks. Oh,
Are we allowed to have? Yeah, stay out of my pretzels.
okay. Sorry. Thank you. Princess.
We don't have any public comment. No, any public comment? No.
So hold on before you adjourn us, because I feel it coming. Are we making the decision? The work session is going to be instead
Yes,
of our
December.
December meeting make sure my notes are correct. Thank you.
I think I like that.
And
a
are we
lot.
saying it's on the same night? Or
Well, wait, can we vote?
different day?
Can we vote for next year? Should we vote for next year in November or should we vote in December for the shares? Because that's up for vote. Is it? It's yearly.
Is it yearly? That seems a little frequent. It should be 2 years. I mean, I don't know.
That's what.
I'm just making.
Well,
I'm
I can
making
look
it up.
into, we can
I'm
look
making
into
it
it.
up.
Yeah,
Look at the
Susan, why don't
bylaws.
you look at the by, see if we have bylaws and look at that.
If we
I
need to
sent- I
have,
sent
I
bylaws already.
nominate Susan.
I emailed bylaws and I emailed 2 documents to you guys all tonight.
All right.
if we need to have an election in December, we could do a short meeting for the election and then follow up with the work session or the other way, or
Perfect.
that's that sort of thing.
Do you have what day that is? December 3rd, Thursday?
Yeah, that's the December 21.
That's
Yeah.
close.
Any conflicts? Is that still gonna work for everybody?
Should
or
we send
for
a
most?
poll out or should you just send a roll call
I-
memo out?
I think we call it December 21st unless, I mean, it doesn't look like anybody has any conflicts right now.
I
It's-
don't go
I
anywhere.
assume it's on our schedules, right? Because we have a meeting, so. All right, and if something comes up, let us know,
Okay.
right? But that's a work session. Great.
Good. Public comment? No? Motion to adjourn?
I make a motion or second,
I second.
Second. All in favor?
third.
Aye.
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 Bye.
I.
Thank you, everyone.
So moved.
Thank you.
Abstention.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. Feel better, Julie.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.